PowerPoint,
Ask your
PowerPoint,
kids.
PowerPoint. Ask
So
your kids.
we're streaming, dude.
We are. All right. So on video, I didn't highlight the fact that you don't know how to do a PowerPoint. Is that what you're telling me?
It doesn't matter.
All right. Fair enough. All right.
Every
We'll go live. We'll
everybody
go
probably already
live
knows.
in. Hey, this is Wicked Spursy. Mike, Steve, and Dave. Boys, good to be back with you. Lots to talk about. Mike, why don't we start with you first? What would you like to apologize for this week before we get started?
I would like to apologize to all of our friends in Wicked Spursy land for
Just
I got nothing to apologize for. I've been
Come on. You have to be sorry about something. Please tell me you're sorry. That's all I want to hear.
all right. I'm sorry, guys.
Very good. What's
Is
going on with you,
it
Mike? How,
what's
how are
wrong?
you?
What's wrong with saying sorry? I mean,
sorry.
is it
So,
is it supposed to be sorry? Sorry?
yeah, like when you play the game as a kid, the little board game where you're like, hey, let's
Sorry.
play sorry. Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
it's sorry. Watch commercials. They'll tell you.
Sorry.
Watch commercials. We should do that. I
Pat
challenge
Montessori.
Montessori. Precisely.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Michael, how's life in your basement right now? How you
Um,
doing?
how's life in my basement? Minute by minute, I'm hoping that the basement doesn't flood. Uh, we've had some incredible rain um come through in the past what 8-10 hours. Well, actually, probably more than that. Since last night. I mean, it started raining last night, hasn't stopped. We had about, I'd say, probably close to 2 inches of rain today. Um,
You know what
and
Axl Rose always said, nothing holds a candle to cold December rain. Am I right?
no, you're wrong. In fact, it'd be November rain.
Thank you. I was teeing you up there, music lover. That's all for you.
I,
I'm gonna
I
be
think.
listening to that after this now.
Oh, what a great guitar solo. Anyway, no, I'm doing well. I got to meet up with some friends on Friday, and my two best buddies right there, they're on the screen. We got to meet up and have some food, have some fun, some drinks, and watch our favorite football team. So I mean,
We did.
you know, that
Well,
it
it's only
made
Friday.
it made for an enjoyable. Yeah, it feels like it was about a month away, a month behind us. But
Yeah.
honestly, like, it made my entire weekend much better.
Nice.
Much better, much
Nice.
easier, and just much more relaxed. The wife and I got out, did some Christmas shopping. I mean, the kids are at the age where we can just say, "Hey, we're going out shopping. We'll be back in a while."
Wait, hold on. Are you saying spending time with Steve and Dave on Friday made your weekend better, or having Spurs game out of the way on Friday made your weekend better? Which one was that, or combination of both?
All three.
So okay,
The
there you
third
go.
was also hanging out with my wife.
Hanging out with your wife too.
Yes,
You
of
know that
course.
was that was a given. I wasn't
Yeah,
even questioning that part. Nice. So productive weekend for you. Felt good.
yeah. I don't have to work this week, so I was able to stay up last night and dread the Monday for my fantasy football. Um, my first week of the playoffs in both my leagues, and I'm holding high seeds, and I'm holding a number 2 seed and a number 3 seed, and one of them I've already won, and the other is going to be a nail biter tonight. Just need AJ Brown to not catch footballs. That's all. So,
Speaking of NFL football, the three of us have teams that were woeful yesterday. Am I right?
oh yeah, my
Yeah.
my team continues to be woeful, but
Yeah.
fortunately, we got to put in a backup quarterback that nobody knew anything about because he hasn't played in the NFL in like 5 years. So he just came in and just started tossing balls around and got my one of my receivers some points. So
Nice. Very nice. Stevie
That's all that
boy,
matters.
how you doing, man? How's it going?
Dave, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Such a nice, pleasant way to start. Boy, what a week we've had, huh? I know it's only Monday, but
Right? When this week over?
look, it's the Monday before a holiday where like anybody who I need to get things done is on vacation. I'm going
Hmm.
to be on vacation next week.
Likewise. Yep.
So it's like I'm trying my hardest not to go into that mindset of just shut down and hibernate until next year. because my boss is still working and I do want to look productive ahead of performance reviews. So, but it is a challenge, man, because it's like I can't move things if people are gone.
Mm-hmm. Totally with you
Uh,
there, 100%.
and it's funny, there is something I will say, there is something that the little passive aggressive side of me enjoys in sending reminder emails to people who are on vacation, like, hey, looks like you forgot to get me this before you left. Just want to make sure it's on your radar for when you get back.
When I'll be on vacation.
When I'll be on vacation. Yep. And
Perfect.
by the way, I'm copying my boss on this so that again, there's visibility into what's going on.
Ross. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to have you guys go ahead and come in on Saturday
loud?
too.
Yeah.
You got those TPS reports, Steve?
Goddamn TPS reports. I'll tell you what, I used to work with a guy, God, this would have been close to 10 years ago now, who he the one character from Office Space where he's like, I told you, I speak to the customers so the engineers don't have to. Like I worked with that guy. Who it's like you clearly don't need to be here. If you were fired, nobody would miss it. Like you're just this he was just this curmudgeonly guy who like he thought the world of his position, but all he did was just pass information from one person to somebody much more qualified to actually do something with it. That's it.
That's the dude who came up with the jump to conclusions, Matt, right?
Yeah. Jump to conclusions.
It's got conclusions and then you jump to them.
Yeah, I get
Hey,
it. I get it.
I do want to say, echoing what Mike said earlier, it was really nice to see you guys on Friday. Nice to catch a match. Good crowd, good food.
Oh man,
Very, very
I'm sorry
enjoyable.
your son had to be there.
Why is that?
Oh, it didn't seem like, it's not something that he's into. So it didn't seem
No,
like he's
he's
having a
not.
great time.
He was being a good sport.
He is a good sport, man.
Yeah,
It's
with
true.
him,
He indulges the old man.
yeah, feed him and he's relatively happy. That's kind of the name of the game. But yeah, it's good to have time with him. Good to spend time in the car. And then
And I
Yeah.
love that he gave you a little bit of shit and then and you ordered an extra thing of chicken tenders because
right,
because he took the piss out of you, I bet.
he
Like
did. He's like, hey, I said, what do you want? 2 orders of chicken tenders. Okay, so I ordered that. I was kidding, Dad. All right, well,
but he
how,
let you
I
order them
did it.
anyway.
how about direct communication, kid? How about you tell me
I
what you
loved
want when I
it.
ask you what you
Do
want?
you
I
want me to leave you
absolutely loved
here?
it.
Because I'll leave you here.
Exactly
I
right.
absolutely loved it.
Very good. Well, hey, you know what else we loved?
The
Good,
match?
good match on Friday. Yeah,
Oh
good stuff
shit.
was happening. Mike, why don't you get us started? What did you see that got your attention?
Another away win. That immediately got my attention. Best record in the Premier League right now. On in away games. Stop the
Oh,
count.
didn't know that.
Stop the count. Um, and yeah, I think that I think that despite there being some bumps in the road, and despite Forest kind of doing a couple of things to us that teams who have been successful against us this year have been able to do.
Rugby tackles,
Um,
pestering our
so
players,
so
pestering
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ref,
So
not getting away
we can
with
get into
it.
that because that's exactly what I was getting at. It was the low block encounter type of attack.
Hmm.
Even though in the beginning of the game they did have some moments where they were in our box kicking the ball around a little bit. And we fought that off. Big Daddy is showing up again. Romero showing up again. I don't think Romero had a terrible game. He wasn't a complete prick out there. He can't be though. And the other thing is that the thing that has got us in a bunch of these games, and I think we're starting to learn a little bit. Well, most of us are starting to learn a little bit that we can't buy into the we can't beat them, so we're going to beat them up tactic. Um, they get after us and get after us and get after us, and I think the blueprint was there from the Chelsea game, right?
Hmm.
That gave these other clubs the blueprint to say, oh, they get a little worked up. when they're not allowed to do what they want to do, and they're getting beat up for it, and sure, that's a fine tactic, but it just shows the desperation of some of these clubs, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. Go out there and play fucking football, play the game. The game, you know, itself to the eye is very pleasing. It's a beautiful game to watch. It doesn't have to be fucking NFL out there. It doesn't have to be rugby. It doesn't have to be dangerous tackles, Basuma. Um, in and for what it's worth, these teams are being successful with making sure that we lose our heads. And I think that this game we showed most of the players on the team showed a lot of resilience, and they showed a lot of what's maturity, kind of. And they're learning to work through the fact that the referees aren't going to give them the calls. Um, you know, I didn't think the referee was terribly bad. I mean, he was letting a lot go early, which means the game got away from him. And that's been happening a lot. I don't think he made any terribly egregious calls. I just think that he missed a lot of them.
I think his calling was inconsistent at best, highlighted primarily from giving Destiny Udogi that yellow card for that push. And
Okay, that
then,
was that was yeah, I forgot about that. That was
but it was the same sort of challenge that was made against Sun like 3 or 4 times prior to that, with not even so much as a foul call. That to me, so I've been thinking a lot about this over the weekend, and I have to think that there is a I don't want to say there's a conspiracy out there, but I do think that there is a
Oh,
big
is the corner back? Are
I
we
don't
going?
I don't think so. I'm just gonna say it. I think that the reason these teams get away with bullying Spurs with these fouls, these cynical fouls, the way that they do, is because unlike certain Premier League managers, Ange post game is usually like, oh, we got to just take the calls and run with it. He doesn't whine about it. He doesn't cry and throw up his hands and call people out and make a big deal out of it. And there's a part of me that truly believes that because Ange has taken the high road and he is not bringing any attention to the inconsistency, the low level of quality of a lot of the refereeing decisions, that we're getting a lot more calls called against us, simply because they feel like they can make those decisions and not be reprimanded for it. They're just going to get away with it. They can be awful in those games, and it doesn't matter. But if it was Arsenal, if it was Liverpool, if you had Arteta and Klopp back there, I guarantee they would have stamped down on some of the challenges that Nottingham Forest were making well before the 87th minute or wherever the fuck they
Steve.
first got their yellow.
Steve Arteta did get a yellow, another yellow. So we he comes back from his suspension and gets another yellow immediately.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's like,
so I mean,
to his look, to Arteta's credit, I get it. The refereeing decisions are abysmal and nobody's holding them accountable, right? But at the same time, it should be equitable, right? If you're gonna get shit decisions, it should be shit on both sides, not, well, Nottingham Forest is at home and Ange is a little bit lenient on us, so we can give more to Nottingham Forest. Like, that's just the interpretation that I had
I also
watching the
think that's kind of
match.
my I also think that's kind of my point though, is that I don't know that the refs are out there saying, oh, Andrews isn't going to get after us, so we're not going to make these calls, or we are going to make these calls. I think that just the overall refereeing and the um the kind of latitude that they've given um to the referees with the VAR has kind of allowed them to be a little bit lazy. I don't think the referees
Lazy,
are out
yeah.
there to fuck one team or another. I think that they're just overall lazy now. They don't have to ref the game. They can let VAR. Look at Dave's making notes over there. They can let VAR come and make the call for them. Case in point, the offsides call that took fucking 5 minutes to figure out, right?
That was fucking baffling.
Right?
Like
But
it,
Was blatantly obvious. And by the way, Mike, I was just writing down lazy refs possible pod title. That's all.
uh,
Yeah.
but that's spot on, right? Like every single person in that bar when we were watching together took one look at that still and went, yes, there's four of them offside. Obviously, that's offside. And it still took them 5 minutes to figure it out.
I mean, even the announcers were kind of like making a joke about how egregiously offside it was and what was taking so long.
there were four guys
And
offside.
Ange has made this
Yeah.
point before. VAR shouldn't be used to re-referee a game, right? That's Mike, I think that's kind of what you're getting at. Like the refs on the field are using that as a fallback to like, oh, if I don't make this decision,
Like a
Precisely.
VAR will
crutch, yeah,
step
like
in.
a
They're
crutch.
not making the call and they're letting VAR make the tough call. Yeah.
When it should
Absolutely.
be, they make the call, and if that call is egregiously incorrect, then VAR gets triggered. It's not, I'm going to let VAR make the decision because
Yeah.
I think it's close. It's
Like,
let me give you my thought live, seeing the game. And if VAR looks at it and it is a clear and obvious error that everybody in the room can look at and go, yep, that makes sense, take it back,
right.
right?
Steve sounds like Arteta. Clear and obvious error. Clear and
Clear and
obvious error.
obvious error.
I cannot say it again. Clear and obvious error.
But enough about the refs, right? We did have a game that we
We had a
actually
game.
played.
I think the game was I don't think it was pretty. Um I think that we're slowly as a club are slowly learning how to break down the low block. I think that Decky needs to continue to play in the midfield. Um, and I think that like overall, like Decky was my man of the match. I mean, the cross that he put in for Richarlison's goal, the goal itself,
The
the hit,
right-footed goal from
the
Decky.
right-footed goal from Decky. The guy uses the just because the guy is dominant left-footed. He said it himself in the post-match that yeah, maybe he does rely on his left foot too much, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a right foot. Because, dude, Matt Turner looked fucking scared when that ball was fired at him. He
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know what to do. He fell backwards. He just put his hands out, hoping for the best. And when you hope for the best and you're not expecting the best, you're not going to get the best. And that ball went right past him.
Totally
He,
true.
I,
It was his mistake too.
again, Decky was my man of the match, and he's been proving over and over and over again um that he's gonna put his stamp on this. You're looking at the cat, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Dave's
Totally just appreciating Steve's cat not giving a crap about what dad's up to. Just I'm gonna be on camera now. By the way, Steve, Santa Coglu, outstanding screen name, by the way. I want to give you props on that. Well, sorry, Mike. I just was
um
distracted.
no, it's fine. So Decky was my man of the match again. I think that you know he for one reason or another um didn't like playing under a football terrorist.
Not
I
too
don't
bad.
think he really completely embraced his role there on the right. And even if he is put back onto the right when Madison comes back, or is put back into, say, even a number 8 spot, um, when Sarr is gone, um, or whatever the situation might be, um, I think that the position that he'll be playing on the right is completely different from the position he was playing there last year. I think that dude, his he's run more than any other player in the
Mhm.
Premier League this year. More kilometers than any other player in the Premier League this year. Um, he's had more carries in the box. He's had more touches in the box than any other player in the Premier League this year. And you can't tell me that. And he's got five goals, 2 assists. So he's matched his output from last year already. And from all of last season. And this is a guy that we got for what? 30 less than
30
30
mil.
mil, about 30 mil. Like, holy shit. Are things actually starting to go right at Tottenham Hotspur?
That's somebody else injured.
look, dude. My saying something isn't gonna manifest something bad.
Mike,
But
Michael,
that shit's
Michael,
gonna
Michael.
happen anyway.
How long have you been a fan of sports? You know this.
Dave, I'm learning from my bald-headed, salt and pepper bearded friend,
I learned it from
also
watching
named Dave,
you.
Also, his name's Dave. Really? Tell me
uh,
about this guy.
also named Dave, that you got to be an optimist about things.
Oh, I love it.
And you're
We've
looking and
done it.
you're
We've done it.
looking up at you're looking at the future, and I'm excited. Um, we could talk about other guys that had great games. Pedro Porro had another great game. He had a couple little missed passes, um, and some defensive lapses in the game. But he was also brilliant again. Ben Davis was brilliant again. Destiny Udogie was brilliant again. Um, Unfortunately, he got an undeserved yellow card that's going to put him out for the next game. Um,
I can see why it was a yellow. I just wish it was consistently applied to Nottingham Forest, right? Like
I
if he
I
gets that
disagree.
yellow, then Yates should have gotten a yellow, then so many other players. If like I'm not saying it's definite yellow, I'm just saying if that was the refereeing threshold for a yellow for a doggy, then it should have been applied to at least three or four other Forest players well before that.
It was 100% not a yellow. I mean, it's a shoulder bump, man. Two dudes running down the field, bump shoulders. It's not like he fucking
So,
tossed him.
do I need to be the arbiter of this dispute or
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yellow? Let's move on.
I just gave you that nice compliment. Yeah.
You did. That's why I did that. I got to keep the dynamic tension going. It's better for listeners. They want to hear
Yeah.
us go after each other. But Mike, I'm flattered. We're bringing you over to the light side, and I love it. Love every bit of it. We might have to change the name of the pod to like wickedly Ange Tasket and yeah, that something
It's
brutally positive.
edge-tastic.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Dave.
Here's the thing, Dave.
Here's the thing. Maybe
Is
that's
that
what we call it.
how do
Here's
we
the
know
thing.
that? How do we know that the light side is not the dark side? It's
Because you can
maybe
see.
Darth
There's no
Vader.
dark side of the moon.
Maybe Darth Vader thought he was doing the right thing.
Maybe he did. Well,
Maybe
Darth
he was
Vader,
the good guy all
I
along.
mean, Darth Vader had a lot of childhood trauma. Let's be honest. There
Yeah,
was a
that's
lot
true.
going on there, and he was working through some things. And
Starting at the Virgin
No
Birth.
therapy.
yeah,
He
and
wasn't seeing anybody.
he took out his aggressions in ways that were unhealthy and unhelpful. But I think he learned some lessons along the way too,
Yeah.
including when he got
flammable.
when he got burned in a lava pit. Right?
Yeah.
All
Lost his
right.
arms and legs.
Just ruined Star Wars for everybody.
Spoiler alert.
Now they know how it ends,
Or how it begins.
or maybe parts of the middle.
Who knows? Depends on your watch order, I guess.
I suppose it does. I started in the middle. It's so stupid. I can't believe I did that. But
I know. How dare you be born in the 70s?
Precisely. My first childhood birthday party that I remember at the movie theater, Empire Strikes Back. I got to pick 5 friends to go.
Mine was
that
Return of the
movie.
Jedi, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Very
And
nice.
I had a C3PO cake. Yep.
Even better.
Phantom Menace.
Perfect.
The first
he had
thing
a
you
Jar Jar
remember?
Binks. He had a Jar Jar Binks cake.
He did. He had Jar Jar Binks pajamas, like the Underoos style ones. Yeah.
Oh God.
Hey, they were flame retardant, so that's you got that going for you.
That's great.
That's something.
Sticking with the Star Wars theme.
Steve, what did you think about the game?
Oh yeah, there was a game. I thought we were just transitioning to the Wicked Star Wars pod. Wicked
can do
Star
that.
Wars.
One of our spin-off pods, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I thought, Mike, you're spot on about the low block trying to, really screw with us, and it was effective for a while. The biggest problem that the team has when they encounter that is they just do not play through it fast enough, right? The team gets set and they move the ball so lethargically that regardless of whether they shift sides or they try to get people caught out of position, they're not moving fast enough to take advantage of any of that.
I agree, Steve. The intensity we show when we're being pressed or semi-pressed, it disappears when somebody drops back, right?
Yeah, and so there are instances where it's like, somebody's got to take a chance. You got to play that quick 1-2. You got to try to, do a quick switch of field, change sides, really drive at them. You can't let them be comfortable because when they're comfortable, they're organized, and that just makes it harder. It's a game where, a player like Madison is sorely missed because he is one of those guys who can and will try those quick interchange plays. Decky is another one. There was a moment early on in that match where he found, I think it might have been Son or Brennan Johnson out wide on the left, just with quick 1-2 boom, and all of a sudden, I think it was Son, and then Son got a shot off in like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then it just kind of like disappeared. It went away. That intensity drops.
Yeah, and I don't think that type of intensity dropped when Madison was there. I mean, the guy's an all-world player,
He
and
makes it
I
difficult because he doesn't stay in one position either. He moves around. He tries to find the
he
best place.
Madison drifts a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, again, this goes back to the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago when Decky and Madison are both on, because it's not Decky stuck out wide right. It's freedom to interchange with a player like Madison. And that, I think, is what enables Decky to be as effective as he is when Madison is present, as opposed to last year, when Conte had him just glued to that right-hand side and he couldn't really do much else. But yeah, they were too slow a lot of the time. And you could tell that as soon as we turned up the pressure, that's when the good things started to happen for us. That second goal that you were talking about, Decky's beautiful right-footed finish, that came from intense pressure on the back line to send it back to Turner, who just shanks his cross, gives it right to Decky. Son put that pressure in there. We got it. I think the first goal, too, if I remember correctly, was the result of pressing them into a mistake. Doesn't really happen if you just kind of, triangle pass over and over again.
That's the
I
thing
don't know
too,
what to
is that
do.
they gave too much credit to Matt Turner for making a boneheaded mistake when they should have given more credit to Son and to Kulisevsky for constantly putting that pressure in to force him into that mistake. because
Absolutely.
because as US national team fans, we know that Matt Turner is usually pretty cool under pressure. He doesn't typically make mistakes like that. Albeit I think that the US national team beats Nottingham Forest, every single time out on the pitch. Um I think that Matt Turner's a different player when he has better defenders around him, and not to say that Tim Ream's a great defender, you know, but he does have outlets like Serginho Dest and Anthony Robinson when he's playing for the national team versus when he's playing for Nottingham Forest, he's got one outlet, and that's like a center back, like Murillo, right? Is that what that was the guy's name? Murillo, yeah. Like, or who was the other guy? Yates. Like, Yates is out there to be a shithouser and put tackles in on people, and that's basically it. Like, Nottingham Forest doesn't have a lot, but what they do is, um, I think Gibbs White is probably the bright shining star on that team, man. I loved watching that guy, and I wouldn't mind having him. If we were one of those teams, that just goes out and buys players, we could probably take him. I think he'd be a great option off the bench or in a rotational position for us. But he was wonderful to watch. He's always great to watch. But
There's
the rest of the team just kind of makes me go, meh.
Yeah. But there's another piece about the way Spurs were set up that I think is going to become more and more evident after I mention it now. People are gonna look for it, I think. So you heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm so curious. Where are you going here, Steve?
I think part of the problem is that without somebody like Bentancur or Madison to be a leader in the middle, there are much more mistakes through that midfield. than you typically see. That trio, whoever lines up out there, needs to have somebody who is loud, vocal, leads by example. I can't think of anybody that we've got fit right now that meets that criteria. Hoiberg maybe, but he doesn't exactly lead by example. He more barks orders, and it can work, but if you think about it, Sar is still a young guy. He made some pretty boneheaded mistakes in that game that could have been punished by a better team. But Basuma, he doesn't strike me as being any kind of a leader out there when he's only at his best when he has a fully functioning Sar out there, right?
Well,
Decky,
yeah.
I think can offer that. Like you said, Mike, he has a lot of positive characteristics in how he drives forward and plays the game. And I think that when he had to shift out right because of the injury that we had, that it really boned midfield. Like they were not able to do much with that until Sun and Decky started to push forward and to take more initiative going into that second half. Um, I am glad to hear that Johnson did not get the concussion. I do think it's bullshit that somebody can get a cut that requires like 16 stitches, and it's not even really a foul called. Again, shitty refereeing, but
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was shitty referee. He threw his head and hit, head on head with a dude with the back of a dude's head. So, I mean,
I
there was
blame
a
the
lot of shit
official.
going on in that play, man. There's a lot of bouncing around with the ball, and everybody's trying to get their head on the ball. And I mean,
I'm glad he's okay though, and is available for selection. That's certainly because there's a part of it where it's like shit, like he's going to miss a couple of games now, and we're
it would have
already
been what 10 days if, but so they didn't use the concussion.
they used the concussion substitute, but they kept him off. But
Mhm.
then he was, not concussed
They said, yeah,
clearly,
not a head injury, right? Like
but
just a cut.
he still needed stitches, and there was no way he
Oh,
was
I
going
thought
back in.
once they use that, okay. I guess I misinterpreted the
Well, I
rule,
think they
but
just have to apply the protocol. So, like, whatever the requirements to
I just, yeah,
return to play would be.
I thought once they use that concussion substitution, that automatically triggered a 10-day, whether he had a concussion or not. But wonderful,
Hey guys, I
because I
have.
mean,
I'm sorry.
there is a way that could be taken advantage of, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing that they did. I think it worked effectively. It did cause some confusion with people. I was seeing on social, like, oh, how did they make another substitution? Like, that doesn't make sense. Concussion substitution. It doesn't count towards the stoppages because it needs
Right.
to happen. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, look, that's one of those games we went away. I knew it was going to be difficult. Forest, I think, should be better than they are. But hey, at the end of the day, 3 points, 3 points. We got it. Moving on to Everton.
Boys, I have three questions I would like to ask. You ready for
Three.
these three? Three questions. Question number
Okay.
one is about Matt Turner. You know who Matt Turner is, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Ted Turner's son,
Ed
You,
Turner's son.
you guys remember
Captain Planet.
When Matt Turner led that rebellion?
No.
Just taking a
Okay.
drink.
Next
No.
question. Next question. I got it. I think I have a new bit coming up for you guys. Are you ready for my new bit?
Oh,
Why not?
I
as
think
long as
every
you
The
week,
show
said
is full
new
of bits.
bit and not
Steve,
nude bit.
yeah, not a nude bit, a new bit. I think we're gonna do dad jokes with Dave before every
Oh
hey Mike, what you
God.
drinking? So tonight's dad joke, are you ready for it?
Yes. Lay it
Why
on.
why do cows wear bells?
Why do cows wear bells?
Go ahead, Mike.
Because their horns don't work.
Because their horns don't work. We're off to a killer start. Way to go, buddy. I'll have another one next week. Got lots of them.
Oh,
Lots of
bang.
them. All right. And my third question I would like to ask is a very
What do you
special
call a
one.
cow with no legs?
Dinner?
Ground beef.
Ground beef. There you go. There's a whole cow genre of dad jokes, but I won't go.
Absolutely.
I won't go to the well too often on that. Let's move this along. What do you say?
Yeah, I suppose we could do that. I
Hey,
guess.
Mike, what you drinking?
Oh, geez.
Huh.
I didn't think we were ever going to get to that. Dave,
I
I
mean, we
love
can
it.
skip past it.
Patience, my dear.
I love it when you ask that question, especially
Young
today.
Padawan.
Young Padawan.
Um, Today's beer is something that
It's
Just
three
just
beers
one
in
this week.
one.
Yeah.
just one. So it's something that was released um that was released 2 weeks ago. And I had a really, really, really hard time getting a hold of because it immediately sold out with like in less than a week. So I called in a few favors, talked to a few people, and I got a couple of cans of it.
He's like, "Do
The
you know who
Wicked
I am?
Spursy IPA.
I'm Wicked Spursy Mike. You know who I am?"
Yeah, right.
Right.
Um, I got this can. I've had Heady Topper. We've all had Heady Topper before.
Sure.
Um, for years and years. I think it was like 6 or 7 years in a row. It was rated as best beer in the world.
I've waited in lines at 8 in the morning for many experiences way back in the day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
When you couldn't get it.
yeah. And then they moved into their big facility, and
Yeah.
it's just started pumping it out. I just learned that every once in a while they tweak the recipe just a little bit, and not really many people have noticed. I noticed in my last 4 pack that I had that
Hmm.
it was different. However, it has been 20 years since Heady Topper came out. And they put out a 20th anniversary Heady Topper. Some pretty fucking amazing artwork there. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's similar to the normal, but it's different. Mike, can I ask you a quick question? Just history of
yeah,
this.
What you
Um,
drinking?
so
Oh,
20,
wait, we already did that.
20 years, right? Oh three, obviously, but Heady Topper became really famous post Irene 2011, right? Because
yeah.
of that's when it became tough to get and
So the Alchemist used to sit in the place where the Prohibition Pig sits now.
yep,
That's where their brewery used to be, and it got
yep.
flooded out. And Heady Topper was one of the beers that was in the fermenter that was saved by the crew there and brought over and transferred at Otter Creek Brewing. Um, they saved the Heady Topper, um, and that's when like all of a sudden it became a thing. I,
Hmm.
this is mostly from my memory. I don't know if all of this is true. I'll probably be corrected on it. Um, but
That check.
but really uh it really started the IPA revolution. Like on the East
Hmm.
Coast, it was Heady Topper. On the West Coast, uh, it was Russian Rivers.
Russian roulette. Got it.
Not even. I can't even remember this guy. So anyway, this Heady Topper itself is like 5.8%. It's a single IPA. It's a hot bomb. It
Hmm.
is super cloudy. Nothing. It's not bright. It's not a brightened beer, so it's not run through a bright tank. It's got, it's not filtered out at all. So this Heady Topper, I'm just going to read the back of this because this is a very, very special beer. Because it's only being brewed 3 times throughout the year, and each time that it's going to be changed. Um,
Hmm.
so it says, in recognition and celebration of our 20th year, we have crafted this special take on our favorite beer. Everything you love about the original, but tweaked and punched up to a whole new level. This 20th anniversary Heady Topper will be brewed and released quarterly of the next year. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so 3 more times. So don't worry if you miss it the first time. It says, it seemed only natural that we would make this special variant in honor of this very important milestone. A warm thank you to all of our customers and staff members and partners who have helped us along the way. Thank you for a special 20 years, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, with love, gratitude, and respect, John, Jen, and the entire Alchemist family. John and Jen Kimmich are the owners. I'm just going to get into this because I'm really excited about this, and I've been waiting for a week to do this.
You gonna drink it from the can like you're supposed to, or you gonna pour it?
Um, so John Kimmich, when he announced it, poured it into a glass.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to do both, if that makes any sense. I'm going to pour it into the
Yes.
glass. So it smells really good. It smells like Heady Topper.
So, Dave, with
Yeah.
all that in mind,
Oh,
having gone through that,
Yes, Steve.
would you like me to share my story about the first time I'd ever had a Heady Topper?
it's
Yes, and then
clean.
Then I will share mine as well. So go ahead, Steve. While Mike is analyzing and
I remember it like it was yesterday.
let's hear it.
It was actually shortly after I turned 21. My folks had come up to the Burlington area. I was still living out around here for college, maybe a little bit after. And so we went out to eat, and I thought, you know what? Everybody's hyping up Hetty Topper. It's all I've ever heard about, living in Vermont for, 4 years at that point, maybe 5 years. Um, I saw it's on the menu. They've got it. I'm going to order it. They bring out that classic can, right? The one that everybody's seen, anybody who knows Hetty Topper at least, right? I crack it open. It's got that, drink it straight from the can on it.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's looking, he's eager to hear how it is because he's a beer guy too, and figured, all right, if it's that popular, if it's that hyped up that people are waiting in line, like let's see what it's like, And I remember taking that first ever sip of it, and I looked at him and I said, Dad, I don't get it. I it's it there's to me, and this is going to be a very contentious statement.
Yeah,
To
you're gonna
me,
make Mike angry, Mike.
maybe. Hetty Topper is the most overrated beer I have ever drank in my entire life.
Interesting take, Steve. Like that's hardcore, man.
The
But
only the only beer that I've had that has been hyped up in Vermont as being, this phenomenal thing that I think legitimately held up was the first time I ever had Sip of Sunshine. That one I really enjoyed. But Hetty Topper, I just didn't do it for me.
so I'm gonna give you my quick assessment and then connect to what you just said. Moved to Vermont in 2014. Before that I was in the Midwest. It's a whole different batch of beers there. You just can't get Vermont beers out there. You certainly couldn't then. You can now, I'm sure, but you couldn't then. And I was in Burlington for a week on work related stuff, and I stopped into, you guys will know this spot, Cortillo
Yeah.
Taqueria, like that little diner taco place. I think
Yeah,
it's on
yeah.
like Bank Street, maybe.
Mhm.
And like you just described, Steve, it's 2014. It was on the menu. I was like, damn, I've never had a Heady Topper. I'm going to have it. And I would admit that I enjoyed it. But as I was acclimating to the Vermont beer scene, I too was quickly smitten with the first time I ever had Sip of Sunshine. I was like, holy shit, this is my favorite beer ever. And I'd actually say that it holds up for me. Just and not, I'm not downplaying Heady Topper at all. I'm just saying I was more struck by Sunshine, and that Sunshine persists. So Mike, over to you, buddy. What's
If
a
only
what's the
if
early
only you
assessment?
guys had had the original double sunshine that recipe was made from. The sip of sunshine is a single version of that. The
Yeah,
sip of sunshine isn't made with Vermont water.
really.
Really, it's brewed in Connecticut.
Oh,
Huh.
well, that
Yeah,
makes
so
it still tasty.
but they did put out a sip of sunshine last year that was actually made and brewed in Vermont with the Vermont water.
Yeah,
Yep.
tangible difference,
Water makes all the difference. I mean, I wouldn't say
Did,
tangible enough for an everyday person that would.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But someone with Mike's caliber of assessment,
I will
I can
say,
tell you, the first time I'm going to have my story of how I had my first Eddie Topper.
yeah, let's hear it.
I didn't like IPAs, hated IPAs. I hated them, hated them, hated them.
Because they didn't serve
Um,
them at fish concerts, right? Like you were just used to drinking piss water, pretty much.
I
Donkey
don't know.
piss.
I don't know. Fizzy yellow beer guy. Anyway, hated IPAs. I went over to my buddy Pete's house. He said I got some Heady Topper. Do you want to try it? So we had Heady Topper, and he had a bottle of Double Sunshine too. Uh, and I we discussed about how I hated IPAs, and he said, You're gonna like IPAs. And these are gonna help you learn to like them." And Heady Topper was in a bottle.
Hmm.
Double Sunshine.
When is this ballpark? Give me a time frame.
what's last Tuesday?
2000.
Definitely in the 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2009,
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
2010 maybe.
Nice. Nice.
Um, so yeah, the beer was in a bottle. We sat down and just had a session and drank and drank and drank, and I said, you know what? I think I like IPAs. Heady Topper got me there. I think Folkabanger, for what it's worth, is a better beer. Um, and that's just for my taste. I don't think it's probably not a better made beer, but just for my taste. But this Heady Topper, the reason they tell you, they used to say drink from the can,
It's all the sediment, right?
the sediment and shit, because it looks
Yeah,
ugly. This is clear, man.
it is.
This is brightened, and I think it's naturally brightened.
Mm.
Um, but this beer is at 10%. Um, it is, yeah, it is. You had that Imperial the other day.
Yeah. Ooh, it was a lot to deal with.
Mhm. This beer is one of the top 3 beers I've ever had in my life.
Oh, like this beer you just took a sip of.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
it's
That just opened up a new category for us.
it's
All right, go further. I need to hear more. Take
it's
another
very
sip.
good.
It's very good.
It's very good. I don't need to take another sip. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, but I'm listening for words. You're
We got to make our guess.
yeah, you're gonna give us numbers.
It's not even close to having a
Tommy
10%
Cutlets.
a 10% booziness.
That's beautiful. I like that.
It doesn't have that 10% booziness at all.
Tommy D.
It doesn't make you want to stop drinking it at all. It doesn't make you even want to go, whoa, this is 10%. I better slow the fuck down.
You just want to have another sip.
Dude, I'm like, that's what's left of the beer. I'm like
Is that
halfway through it already.
is that a waste management glass you have it in, by the way?
No, it's Weird Window Brewing.
Oh, it's weird window. Sorry. I was getting a little waste management logo there.
I
see
know.
what
I'm like,
talking
we're sponsored. We're our new sponsor, Waste Management.
about? Big time sponsor.
We should be sponsored by Casellas if we're going that route. But so the beer is clear. It's got like that heavy kind of maltiness that a Heady Topper has. It's got the citrus notes. It's got mango. It's got pineapple. It kind of just sits there and develops as you drink it, and it just rolls and rolls and rolls with taste and flavor, and it's really an assault on your senses, man.
Hmm.
But it's not like super dry that like some IPAs can be.
How deep into it are you? Are you half a glass in? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Could you
I'm,
drink
ha- I'm
another?
half the can. I'm half the can.
Could you would you pour another and feel good about it or
100%.
okay. All right. We have our ratings in. Let's hear where you're going with this, buddy.
4.9.
Holy sh!
Oh, wow. All right, let's talk logic on how we rated the way we rated. Steve, you went 4.7. I went 4.8. What was your thinking?
My thinking was originally 4.8, but then I thought he's going to do an odd number, and I didn't think he would go as high as 4.9, so I rounded to the next high number, 4.7.
Gotcha. That's logical. For me, I was thinking, okay, you said one of the top 3. I don't recall that Mike's ever given a perfect 5.0. I do recall a 4.9. And I was thinking, all right, if it was the best ever, he would have said best ever. So being top 3, it can't be the 4.9. It's got to be 4.8 or below. So I went with 4.8 as the in between spot. But Mike, you can see we got you dialed in, buddy. Like we're pretty damn close.
It's a really good beer, and I'm really glad I waited
All right, well,
to do it
let's
here.
let's hear us. Let's hear us. Yeah, especially since your January is dry January for you, right? You're
It's
getting
going to be dry January. Yeah,
getting the
I'm
big
doing
boys.
dry January. Working out 2 times a day. Gonna get myself
Nice.
back in shape. Yep.
Very
Yep.
nice.
Gonna start eating right. Maybe try and get on that Athletic Greens sponsorship.
Nice. We'll take it. AG1. Save
AG1.
$100 a month for each of us.
Um,
What Lenny Kravitz song are you going with to identify
I'm gonna
this?
go my way. um, no, man. Like,
Top 3, it's going to be a Fish song.
no, it's not. It's not. You know what?
Grateful Dead.
No, as
What's that? Hold on 1 second. What's that song? It's a Christmas song by the are they the Waitresses? Does that band mean anything to you? The Waitresses?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
feel
about.
like that's the type of song you would pick for something like this that makes you both happy and is quirky at the same time.
No, this makes me want to run through a wall.
Ah, like Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, it's the
Oh yeah. Um, no, I'm gonna go the
Ange
rolling
Postacoglu's song.
the rolling sounds of this song.
Thunderstruck.
No, it's very close.
Oh,
The way the song rolls is kind of the way that the beer just develops and the hops roll through your
Thunder.
na,
um
na, na, na,
I'm
na.
gonna go
Thunder.
no. I'm gonna go Metallica Jump in the Fire.
Okay.
Ooh,
All
all
right.
right, all
We
right.
can handle that.
It's also apropos because it's a 10% beer.
Mike is
Jump into the
Mike
fire.
is fired up. That was a good one, Mike. You got me. Well, I would say you got me motivated
Jump
to
in the
look for
fire,
it.
yeah.
We didn't start the fire. Is that what you just said?
I think that's what
No,
he said.
Yeah. I'm motivated to look for it, but I know from you that I won't
Metallica did
find it.
start the fire.
Ride the lightning.
Valid. Hey, this has been Hey Mike, what you drinking? Well done, Mikey. Always fantastic. I think the dad joke kind of set you up to have a really good review there. So I think I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
that coming
that's
for you.
what it is. It's the dad joke.
Faux show.
Tune him up a bit.
All right, let's keep rolling, boys. What are we thinking about as we look ahead? When's our next match? It's Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday,
Saturday. Steve, what are you
10
thinking?
a.m.
That's
I'm
right, 10 a.m.
thinking,
You got a watch party going, right? You got the pub opening up for you, all that good stuff.
yeah, I think well, Mike and I will be there, it looks like.
Yeah, to watch the Deli Alley team, correct?
The Deli Alley team.
He
No,
prefers deli, but
Your
this
team
is
says,
I also prefer a good deli.
this is one of those
as opposed to an
matches
alley, for sure.
for
Mhm.
sure. This is one of those matches where I want Spurs to blow them out of the water. Just because I think Everton right now are a bit too big for their britches. Uh, Watching them at the start of the season, they looked fucking terrible, terrible. And all of a sudden, they've got some momentum. They've had some positive results. They're out of relegation. If they hadn't had their points deduction, they'd be in like 10th or ninth or something like that.
They'd be a ninth
Um,
right now.
I just don't like Sean Dyche. I, I get why he goes to some of these teams. I get what they see in him. But to me, the way that he sets up, the way he plays is just like the anti-Ange. It's just such a fucking tedious thing to get through. Um, it's not quite. I think it's almost like a Conte, like a Mourinho, like a very negative, just abysmal thing. Just he doesn't have the same ego, so it's not.
Right. He's got an everyman quality that Mourinho didn't
Yeah,
have, right?
so
Yeah.
he's more likable,
Hmm.
but it's still garbage to watch. And I really hope that Ange's team rips him apart. But at the same time, I'm nervous. I'm nervous because we've not got Destiny. Our midfield is once again torn to shreds because Basuma decided that he needed like a 2.5 month break from playing um, with his stupid ass challenge because he's out for 4 games and then he's got AFCON, so he's just going to miss all of January. So thanks for that, Basuma. So I'm a bit concerned with what I imagine will be Emerson Royale playing out of position on the left, and with one of Skipper Hoiberg slotting into the midfield. It just doesn't fill me with confidence. I think that players like Son and Decky, and especially Richarlison right now, who's going to be looking to continue his run of form, are going to be looking to do something fantastic up front. But the way that Dyche sets his teams up, the way that Everton have been playing, I think they're going to frustrate Spurs in the midfield for most of that game. If Johnson is able to play and we can get Decky more central, I think that helps us immensely. Um, I think it's going to be a difficult game for us. I think Everton are going to try to poke holes, similar to how Forest have, but I think Everton will be a bit more effective at it. But I do think that Spurs have more of the quality to pull off a win. I think we're going to get the win. I want it to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be a very difficult tedious match to get through.
Always like an optimistic take from Steve on a tough match because often Steve, you go the other way, right? Like you anticipate the worst. So I like to hear that. I'm curious, Mike, what do you think as you look ahead to this one?
Um, this is not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a game that's going to frustrate us. It's going to be a game that's going to frustrate our team. Sean Dyche's teams are always super fucking physical. Um, they well, when I mean, you have to look at the way the teams that he's coached and the way he's had to play in the past. Like Sean Dyche's Burnley was a little bit different than his Everton, right? Um,
Yeah, that's true.
so his Burnley teams, he always had to park the bus. He had to put 10 guys in the
Mhm.
box at all times and hope to God that a ball just pops out that one of their speedsters could get to. Um, they don't play with that kind of fear anymore. So I appreciate Sean Dyche. Yeah, he looks like probably that racist uncle that comes to Thanksgiving and pisses everybody off. I don't think he's that guy. I think he's probably a wicked nice guy, and probably like to have a drink with him. Um, the thing about Dyche is that like you never know what you're going to get with him. Um, and that's what's the scary thing. That's the scary thing for me. Uh, Everton right now just announced that Decore's hurt.
Mm.
So he's
Oh,
he's not going to
that
play in
helps.
he's not going to play in their Carabao game. Uh, how did Everton make it further than us in Carabao? Um, so he's not going to play the Carabao game. He is most likely not going to play against us. They still have Ashley Young. Andre Gomez is out. Delhi is still out. Mikolenko is. I don't know if Mikolenko is coming back for this game. I know.
Questionable.
Yeah, right. I know
He's been
Delhi's
good.
been.
I'll give him
I know
that.
Delhi's been back at training, so that's a good thing. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be back. They have nobody suspended, so look, it's going to be a difficult game either way. But Decore, if he doesn't play against us, that's a big fucking deal. And maybe he's just out for their. I don't know. Is it a midweek that they have? I don't know. Um, but if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, that's only good for Spurs. That said, I don't think they have a midfield that's going to be able to contend with somebody who's like a Kulisevsky, um, like a Papsar. Um, you know, those guys have engines that don't stop. I think that they're not going to be able to deal with a Pedro Porro bombing forward. They're not going to be able to deal with a Christian Romero bombing forward. They're not going to be able to deal with Ben Davis, who is in really good form right now. Um, I, I think that we're in a good spot to beat them. Um, we have to control the midfield. We have to control the pace. We always control possession, control the ball. But we have to control the midfield and we have to control the pace of the game. And like Steve said before, we have to get into a spot where we're we're comfortable passing the ball quickly versus sitting on the ball, taking an extra touch, um, waiting to see what develops as our players are carrying the ball. Um, I I would like to see Son out there uh, on the left hand side attacking. I think that he's never been that dribbly kind of one on one specialist that we want. But he's no longer the guy who's gonna fire those curling balls in from outside the box. He might get you one or two of those, but he's gonna need to be a guy going forward, as especially if Richie is on form, who's going to be able to take those one on ones, um, to be able to pass the ball when he needs to pass the ball, and he's shown recently that he can do that and that he's willing to do it. I mean, the Destiny goal a couple weeks ago against Newcastle, like, in you know, for what it's worth, Trippier is better than any defender that Everton is going to throw at us, right? I think Spurs have a very good opportunity to win this game, but again, like I said, it's going to be frustrating. the entire time. And that team is gonna be gritty. They're gonna put in a shift, and they're gonna look to score in the not necessarily early on, but in the late periods of the game, in the late halves, uh, ends of halves.
It's going to be
I
interesting.
it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I just don't think Everton is as bad as everybody thinks they are
I
because of
want
where they
them to
sit in the
be worse
table.
than they are.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not? But
valid.
I would rather of the two Liverpool teams, I would rather Everton. I would rather Everton be good.
I got a question for you guys. Um, what
We already did
is
that. We already did that segment.
what is your favorite dark horse Christmas movie that's not in your, like top three that you would talk about to your friends? What's your favorite dark horse Christmas movie? You got one?
My favorite Dark Horse Christmas movie.
Like you saw it and you're like, yep, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. It's a good film. Happy to spend some time with that, even though I've spent time with it before.
Well, you see, this is going to be an interesting one because I think my favorite Christmas movie most people would pick as a dark horse,
Okay, what's that?
Jingle All the Way.
Nice. I like that.
Ah,
That,
okay.
that's a good
That's
dark
Steve's
horse
generation.
candidate,
It's
though.
okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Look, there's something about Sinbad standing in line,
Something about
waiting to do.
Sinbad. Stop there.
Sinbad,
Well, yeah, I could just end it there.
Sinbad,
Uh,
or Dak Prescott, either one.
but just that scene of him standing there having this like anti-consumerism rant Christmas Eve waiting in line in front of a toy store that just holds up even now. It's just such an incredible it's not a good movie, but it's like I have to watch it because
The,
it's
the
just
the
so amusing to
cynicism
me.
of a millennial. Am I right, Mike? That it's
Because
just
Phil Hartman is just such an
Phil
awesome
Hartman. There you
actor.
go.
Oh, I miss Phil
So
Hartman.
that's a good one. So yeah, that's a great favorite
So
Christmas
if I
movie.
had to pick a dark horse,
Yeah.
and this is probably something that most people would have as a favorite, it would
Okay.
be the original Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh,
Ugh.
okay.
I
Ugh.
I love that movie. I
That
wouldn't
Burl Ives.
if it's on.
Right. You're
If
not
it's
looking.
on.
You're not looking for it, but if it's on, you're
It's like,
content to
okay,
let it go.
yeah, you know what? This is yeah, it's a Christmas movie. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Like this is one that I should watch.
I like that. I like that. That's good. Mike, how about you? Yeah, dark
So
horse.
every Christmas Eve while wrapping presents, Amy and I drink.
Yes.
We
Good.
we wrap our presents on Christmas Eve. Does
Dude,
anybody else
that's
do this?
no. This is undue pressure, man. Christmas Eve. I'm like, get that crap out, man. Let's
Oh
let's.
no, it's like our time to like decompress from the entire season, and we wrap presents. Amy wraps. Okay, let's be clear. Amy wraps presents. I eat the cookies and drink beer, and Amy drinks wine, and we watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
that's our tradition. Um, and it's only been tradition since Amy and I got together because I had never watched it before when I was a kid. Miracle on 34th Street is a fucking garbage movie. It's a terrible movie.
I love that movie.
Terrible.
Oh,
When it's on.
way to just get after Steve's feelings, Mike.
Hey,
That's
whatever.
right. I told him
he shit on my
Heady
heady
Topper was
topper.
trash, so.
He shit on my heady topper in the middle of my heady topper
Look,
review.
if I can't take it, why am I giving it, right? Like,
Um,
I'll be okay. I just have to go to my millennial safe space
one of
after
my
this.
favorites that nobody ever thinks of, and you're gonna laugh. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
that's
you
Natalie's
can't go wrong
all-time
with that.
favorite.
And
Oh,
I'm gonna give a shout out.
But-
Our friend Gina, my sister, who you know,
yeah.
is the world's largest Muppet fan, so she's gonna give you a shout out.
Oh man, I love Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
With Marley and Marley. Whoa.
There you go. However, I always love watching, and you have to watch it when the kids go to bed. But Scrooged. I fucking love Scrooged.
Nice.
Love Scrooged because
Nice.
it's got all of that 1980s charm, that Bill Murray being just a complete asshole. I mean, he doesn't even have to act. Like I just absolutely love that movie. It's just got all of that, plus it's the Christmas Carol all wrapped into it. I there's so many goddamn Christmas movies that I love. And I will tell a story that I think I told you guys. But last week I came home from work, um, doing up dinner and everything. Lucas has a day off of soccer. Um, he gets
Is that
2 days.
allowed?
He gets 2 days off a week. So,
Huh.
um,
Sounds like 2 days he could be working.
well, he's been working. He's
That's
been
right.
actually working out. He's been doing a lot of speed and strength
He didn't say
conditioning, like I
working out.
said.
He said working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Get
That
a
working.
job,
boy needs a
freeloader.
job.
So I was like, he puts a movie on, and I come out and like we're gonna have breakfast for dinner, right? Amy's out with her friends. Breakfast for dinner. I come out and I said, "What'd you pick for a movie?" And he goes, "Home Alone 2." And I was like,
Nice.
"What? Are you serious?" And he goes, "What? I've only watched it twice this year."
I saw this great meme about that where somebody had called out like at the end where his dad's all pissed off that he spent like $900 on room service, and they're calling out the dad like, you've abandoned your kid twice now, like I think you can chill a bit about the room service bill.
Right? Oh, you know what they also did? They took Donald Trump out of the movie.
Did they
Oh, did they
really?
really? Oh,
They
wow.
removed him from the movie.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. But
How about you, David?
um I want to throw well first I need to ask permission before I share my thoughts. Are we okay with these being closing thoughts, or am I going to get in
Sure.
trouble
Yeah.
for trying to end the pod too
I
quickly, Mike? I need to ask your permission for
no.
how we're
Oh,
how we're
Jesus Christ.
how we're managing the end of the pod here. What do you think? Have these been our closing thoughts, or are you good?
No, these can be our closing thoughts. I'm
All
happy
right,
with
cool.
it. I'm
I will
it's a
Yeah,
say
good discussion.
you're
We did
feeling
our
jolly,
Thanksgiving.
jolly and
uh,
joyful.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna get jolly. We'll get even more jolly and joyful as the actual holiday approaches. So
all
very
right.
true.
I will
So,
say, Dave, before you share yours,
yep.
because we've talked Christmas Carol, and I just want to get it out there that I must watch the Alistair Sim version from like 1957 or something. Love it. That's my all-time favorite one.
See,
yeah,
Steve
that's
has
fantastic.
respect for
Yeah,
the originals, man. Way to go, Steve. That's good.
I
So I'm
would
going to
say
connect
he's
to
an
that.
old soul, but he's not.
Ah, he is. He is. He's just a nerd.
There's some kids on my lawn. I gotta go yell at them. I'll be
That's right.
back.
So I'm going to connect to the Christmas Carol thing. I didn't watch it last year, but I did watch it this year. Apple TV, the musical, Spirited, Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, and it's based on a Christmas Carol. And I went into it like, yeah, this is gonna probably be dumb. I gotta admit, I left a fan, so I'm gonna throw that one out to you if you have access to that.
Hmm.
I'm also gonna throw out as I've gotten older. I've realized that I don't mind a stupid movie. Like I'm okay to just let a dumb movie play. Whereas Beth will be like, "This is terrible. Let's pick something else." I'm okay to let it keep playing. Peacock came across a movie called Genie. It's starring Melissa McCarthy, who is like, and it's a Christmas time movie. It's not a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas time movie, and it was one of those where it's like, this is an actually stupid movie, but we're just gonna let this roll, and we're gonna see how it goes. So I'm
I'm
gonna
not
throw
a
that out.
Melissa McCarthy fan, but I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now my dark horse favorite. I mean, the big three are easy for me. I think we may have even talked about this last year. For me, it's Elf, it's Christmas Vacation,
Oh yeah,
and Christmas Story. Those are the big three. You can't do without those. But
Christmas Story Christmas was good, by the way.
it was good. I concur. I'm gonna throw this out to you. If you guys have not watched this, Daddy's Home 2 is a movie you
Okay,
need to watch. Daddy's Home 2. We got
Eddie
Will
Murphy.
Ferrell. No, Will Ferrell, Mark
Do
Wahlberg,
I? Oh,
Oh
okay.
Jesus
John
Christ,
John
John
Lithgow,
Cena.
Mel Gibson, John Cena.
Yeah.
It's an awesome freaking movie. Daddy's Home 2, my recommendation.
Um,
Mark, if you hear me, we could work something out, buddy. I'll glad to have you on.
what's the one? What's the one with the girl from? Oh Jesus Christ, Bill Hader is in it. There's Santa.
Bill, is it bad? It wasn't bad, Santa. No, that was
No, no, no.
that was Billy Bob,
No,
right?
no, Bill Hader is supposed to be Santa, and then his sister has to take over because he doesn't want to be Santa anymore. The
Ooh,
dad dies.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh God, I think it's a Netflix one,
Nice.
but it's got the girl from what's the fucking singing movie?
The girl from the singing movie.
You know where
Yes,
they
that
do the
was
acapella?
Julie Andrews. I don't know.
They do the acapella. They do the acapella stuff.
Uh
Glee.
Nope, nope.
acapella like uh brunette, brown hair.
Yes, she does
Uh
cups. The cup song.
yeah, Anna Kendrick.
Anna
That's
Kendrick.
it.
Anna Kendrick. Yeah, there you go.
Oh
No,
my
I can't
God,
think of this one. Yeah, give us the name on that one.
this is Amy's. This is Amy's favorite. It's called Noel. Jesus
Noel.
Christ.
All right.
Noel. Yeah,
Noel.
that's a great one. It's on
Is that
Disney.
is that the first one or the second one? You see what I did there?
Yeah. The first Noel.
The first Noel. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a specific line that Amy has been saying since she saw the movie, and it's "Oh my Garland."
Oh my
Nice.
Garland.
Instead of "Oh my God," she says
Very
"Oh my
good.
Garland."
Very nice.
So anyway, we'll end
Hey,
it there.
well done, boys. Hey,
Good
this has been
spot.
Wicked Spursy. Good episode. Our final episode pre-Christmas holiday. So,
I love
boys
it.
and fans, listeners out there, we love you and wish you a happy holiday season. But before we get away, Steve, what would you say to all those people we just wished a lovely and happy holiday season to?
Quiz.
And
Don't be an asshole.
thank you. And Michael, how about you?
I just want everybody to just go out there and weather's crazy, people are crazy, but just be safe.
And one more thing.
Tottenham Hotspur action. It's fantastic.
Nicely done, boys. That was a good pod.
Was it?